Hello. What's that? Of course, I love that recording me. Thought editing me would have the energy to record this intro. So, last week I had this idea that I wanted to read as many spooky horror books as I can off of this TBR shelf. And of course, life happens and things came up and I was not able to do it all in one go. So instead I adjusted and set a 24-hour timer. You will see that at the beginning of this video, I do set a TBR, but I'm me and I'm a mood reader. So of course I don't stick to it. So in this video, I read 3 books in actually 15 hours, which I think is pretty good. So I read Five Survive by Holly Jackson, I read The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, and I read These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall. I have a brand new fave from those 3, but I'm gonna cut it to recording me, who will take it away with the vlog. Hello. Intro me has just told you what we're doing. I'm gonna tell you my TBR. So, scoot. Here's my bookshelf. And I want to read horror. I'm in such a mood to read horror, especially because I'm anxiously waiting for my gaming PC to get here. I'm hoping it'll get here today, but it might get here tomorrow. And to distract myself from that, we are going to read some horror books. I don't know which way to look. I'm going to flip you around and show you the options. So starting here with my like YA, something spooky, magical is going on. I think I'm going to start with Five Survive, and then I'm going to read the Agatha. That's my plan right now because both of these are YAs. I like YA horrors usually, but I am trying to read my YA shelf down, so I'm going to read these 2 books. And Runtime does have the audiobook on script, so I think I can blow through that pretty quickly while I'm playing Animal Crossing. And then The Wife Upstairs is another one that I really want to read because I know that Rachel Hawkins books just genuinely read very quickly. And then if I have time, we'll get to The Woman in the Dark. Let us start with Miss Five Survive by Holly Jackson. So Five Survive is about these group of people that go on a road trip, and I don't typically like to know a lot about a book before I go into it. I hear the pitch for it, I add it to my TBR, and then by the time I read it, I've forgotten. But they're on a road trip of some sorts, and there's a killer amongst them. Someone dies, and I don't know, 5 survive. That's what the summary is. I promise I'll give you a better summary, but for now, let's get into reading this. The sun is setting, so the lighting isn't great, but I made it through the first hour of the book. So the book is split up into hour sections. So we have like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., things like that. So I'm on 11 p.m. and it's not a spoiler to say that the car broke down. It is a murder mystery story about a road trip gone wrong with the car breaking down. But here's something that I hate seeing in horror books and I hate seeing in horror movies. And it's this whole idea that, oh no, there's no service and no signal. Because to me, that just completely breaks suspension of disbelief. Yes, it's absolutely possible for you to be in a complete dead zone. But just gonna spread some information here, besties. If your service provider does not have signal in that area and you are trying to dial 911, you're trying to dial emergency services, your phone will automatically try to connect to any available network for any phone provider service in the area. It's just trying to connect to the nearest cell phone tower. And I could perhaps let this go if they were truly in the middle of nowhere, but they are less than 5 miles outside of town. If they started jogging, it would be like an hour and a half to 2 hour jog, which to me says that they are close enough to receive signal from somewhere. I don't know what's going on, but I hope that's explained later. Maybe someone has a jammer. I don't know. I just hate seeing that in like horror because I'm like, stop. Like, that's not, no. You will connect to something unless you are in the dead middle of nowhere, complete dead zone, no signals. Nearest town is like 45 billion miles away. That's an exaggeration, but For them being within walking distance of the town and to have no service, I'm like, the fuck? And we're also following Red, who's our main character in the story. And with Red, she just confuses me. Like, she's very confused herself and forgets things easily. But these little red flags, she will say things that just sound weird. I'm not going to spoil anything. I have no way to know because I'm literally like 30 pages in. But just wanted to give you that update on my initial thoughts and feelings. I am confused. Okay, I am at 1 a.m. in the book, and I have to say there's definitely some moments that are very much reading YA. I can't spoil anything, but what I'm gonna say is that the characters just had a reaction that was so fucking ridiculous that it reminded me of Scooby-Doo. Jinkies. Like, that's exactly what happened. They're like, but such and such, and I'm reading it like, you're going to die. You're literally going to die. And that is the thing that's important to you. That's what you want to focus on. You think that you, with your nothing, is going to be able to escape this situation? You and your 21-year-old thoughts can outsmart. I can't tell you who they're outsmarting, and I can't tell you what the situation is, but just know that I'm like, the fuck? And also, Oliver in this book is really annoying. It's very obvious that he's being painted as an annoying character. Like, he just demands things from people and doesn't do anything himself. He always puts himself as the leader, but is not willing to put himself in danger, and refers to himself and his sister as obviously the most high-value people on the van. But Meg with Books did a reading overnight for this, and I'm hoping that she chaptered it by section because I would love to see her response from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. and then do that to check in. So I'll check in again when I hit another 2 to 3 hour mark, so maybe around the 3 to 4 a.m. mark in this book. I'm gonna actually place you on a stable surface and tell you Meg did come through. Her video, which I will have linked in the description below because it's really fun, is sectioned off by time. And if you're new to my channel, then hello. And if you're not new to my channel, then you know there is only ever one situation in which I would look at the other reviews, and that is if I'm not enjoying a book. And I must tell you the truth, besties, I'm not enjoying this book. It is reading very, very, very young. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere positive, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And the reason I'm keeping my fingers crossed is because I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That entire series, I ate it up. Progressively, it got better for me, and by the final book, I was like 5 stars. And I know that there's another person who feels the same way, and it's Meg. Meg also really loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and she really loved the final book. So I'm here listening to her reactions to each of the hours in the books, and I have to agree with several things that she's saying. The main one being one that I felt immediately as I started reading this book, and that this does not feel like Holly Jackson wrote it. It does not feel like her writing style. The writing is very hard to get into, and it just feels completely just outside of the realm of what we're used to. Obviously, authors are not boxed into one certain writing style, but because I picked this book up because it's written by Holly Jackson, this sounds aggressive. It's not aggressive. It's just a saying, slapped in the face by something that is so out of the box for her makes me feel like, whoa, what's going on? In addition, Meg also mentioned this, which I'm going to agree with. One, she also hates Oliver. I think we're supposed to hate Oliver very much. I also feel like they can just throw his ass right out the RV right now. 5 survive, bye Oliver, you can be the one that goes. Very much a privileged white man who thinks he runs the world and wants to lead everyone without ever doing any of his own work. That is Oliver's energy. But the third thing is that the characters really don't feel that fleshed out. Even Red herself, I don't find myself connecting with her just because her thoughts are so scattered and all over the place. Her thoughts bounce around very, very chaotically, almost to the point where she's completely detached and separate from the story, which you could argue makes sense for the situation, which is the whole sniper situation. That's what's going on. 6 friends go on a road trip for their spring break, and they get taken down by a sniper, and they are trying to survive. That is what's going on here. So yeah, the characters also don't feel fully developed. They're just kind of side characters, but I do believe that Holly Jackson Jackson is going to develop their characters throughout the story, and I'm expecting that to happen in the second half of the book.
All of you laughing at me because that's never going to happen.
My thoughts and feelings remain the same though. Why are we going down this Scooby-Doo mystery route? Because their thought patterns don't make sense. If it was just this, like, kids, they're teenagers, they're 17 years old, then maybe I could understand that line of thinking, but it's the oldest of the bunch who is 21 years old and about to graduate pre-law. That's his rationale and thinking. It's very childlike. Honestly, it's the way a 13 or 14-year-old child would think in a situation and circumstance like that. Like, it genuinely does not make any fucking sense. So, you know, the full scope of my thoughts. I also want to clarify something earlier. Thank goodness. I told you one of the things that really annoy me in horror anything is the signal didn't work. We didn't have service. Now, Holly Jackson has mentioned that their services has actually been suppressed, and that's why they're not connecting to anyone, even though that they are so close to town. And I'm glad to hear that. And she also explained in the book that yes, your service provider or your cell phone will try to connect to any service nearby if your provider is not getting a signal and you're trying to dial emergency services. That has been fully addressed, and I'm very happy to hear it. I'm going to try to get to the 3 a.m. mark. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge just because I want to move on with Meg's video, which is honestly saving this book for me and its experience for me, because I get to follow along with her and hear her thoughts and perspective. And I'm glad that we're on the same wavelength almost exactly with thoughts and feelings about the book. So yes, let's get back to reading. I'm at the 5 a.m. mark for this book. It's like 7 something. Literally right at the end of this book. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I want you to look at my tabs. At the very, very beginning, you could see some green tabs. And that is where I predicted exactly what was going on and exactly who I thought was involved. And once I got to that and we got to the reveal, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It was that predictable that I could guess within the first 2 chapters exactly the plot of what's going on and exactly who the person is. That is hilarious. This book, I'm gonna be kind. This book is a little bit of a mess, okay? A little bit of a mess. I've predicted almost every single twist so far, and it is just, you know what? Let's just finish it. Let's just finish the book. Hi. I was gonna film this on my tripod, but it's crooked and I am not in the mood to fix it. Also, my hair is doing this. You know what? It's 9 p.m. Shh, shh, shh. Pretend you do not see it. I just finished 5 Survive. I'm giving it 2.5 stars. This book was a fucking mess. Like I said, the characters were underdeveloped. The plot didn't make any fucking sense at all. It all came together in the end in the way that was extremely predictable. I knew exactly who it was, exactly what the secret was, and exactly what was going on. Beyond that, in the middle, right, we have the whole situation with, like, there being a sniper and they're stuck in the RV and they're trying to figure out what's the secret. Why is this sniper coming after us? The thing is, if this was truly involved in the way that the book was set out to be, why the fuck would they allow 5 witnesses to live? Why play these mind games? Why say one of you has the secret and not say who it is that has the secret? Why would they? The thing is that this book feels like it has no tension. There's no stakes. It's a sniper situation. They're being held hostage. You should feel some tension, but these characters are two-dimensional, and there's a massive plot hole of why the fuck would someone holding people hostage literally have no problem? They have shown that they have no problem killing people, not just break into the van when they break down and take the person who they're trying to get the secret from and kill the rest. Why would they play these mind games? And also, I fucking hated Oliver. And we're supposed to hate Oliver. And here's my issue with Oliver. Like the rest of this cast, he is two-dimensional in the sense that this man is literally the walking personification of white male privilege and toxic masculinity. That's his only personality trait. He has no redeeming qualities. He is literally the personification of the worst version of a man that you could make. Toxic masculinity. That's his personality. It was disgusting. exhausting as his character to read about. That said, I liked the ending enough in terms of literally like the final 2 pages. I love that the book is sitting right across from me, and I've given you this whole summary, this whole wrap up without holding the book up. So editing me can have fun popping the book into this video. But yeah, 2.5 stars. That's all I have to say because I've told you my thoughts and feelings about it. The book that I did actually think I had to bring with me in this clip is The Wife Upstairs. So that is the next book that I'm going to start. I finished 5 Survive in like 4 hours. It's only 8:30 right now. So I am going to try to read The Wife Upstairs. It's relatively short. I think it should also take me like 3 or 4 hours, which means by midnight I would have finished 2 books. We'll see if I continue to read after that because my other plan is to read if I'm not tired, and my sleep schedule has definitely been thrown off. I probably will still have the energy to read this book here. I think it's Haunted Perron Manor, so maybe I will try to get to that. I also have We Spread on my TBR, which I do need to read for an upcoming video, which should come at the end of this month, which is like literally next week. So We Spread is gonna make me cry, and I don't want to cry. So instead, I shall see you with my initial updates and impressions of The Wife Upstairs. Like 5 Survive, I know even less about this book, so I'll tell you the summary when I know what it's about. Okay, besties, I've made it through the first 10% of The Wife Upstairs. It's actually shorter than I thought. It's a little bit under 300 pages, and I can tell you more about what this book is about since I remember it now. If the title doesn't tip you off with The Wife Upstairs, this is a Jane Eyre retelling. And we have our main character, Jane, who is a dog walker for the very, very rich and elite in Birmingham. And she is walking a dog one day and she runs into this man who has been recently widowed. And everyone tells her, it's so tragic, it's so tragic. His wife died in a boating incident and it's been 6 months. They presume she's dead at least. And Jane, my girl, you know, she is all about opportunity. My girl likes to steal things for fun. She has a bit of a short temper. All we know so far is that Jane is not even her real name. She has a fake identity and she is trying to find a way to get out of the life that she is currently living. And that introduces us to our male character, Edward, Eddie. Eddie is recently widowed, and I also get the sense that, like Jane, he's a little questionable, shall we say, because his wife died under mysterious circumstances. And our dude in the scene I just read, Jane is upstairs looking at pictures of him and his wife, the only one that he has of them in Hawaii. He catches her and he says, "You're not sad that she died because we could be together." And Jane's like, "We're not together." And that's how they start dating. I'm getting a very, very interesting vibe from their relationship because they are both obviously hiding secrets, and it feels a little bit like 2 wolves in sheep's clothing coming together. And I'm just like, which one of you is gonna go down? I'm rooting for Jane, honestly, because I read Reckless Girls and I feel like Jane's gonna take him down. She's gonna get what she wants. She's gonna get her happily ever after. And this man is nothing more than a pawn who thinks he's the king on the board. That's the vibes that I'm getting. I would say it's a super quick read. It's only been like 20 minutes and I've gotten to 30 pages in. But if I show you the font is small. Okay, besties, the font is small, so it takes a little bit longer to read through the book, but I am going to continue with it. But for now, I'm going to take a break to maybe drink some wine and watch some TV. I am feeling sleepy. Of course, the day that I would decide to do reading as many spooky books as I can, I would be sleepy, but you all know me. I don't disrupt my sleep for anybody. So if I do get tired, I will let you know when that happens and we'll resume in the morning. For now, I'm not tired yet, so we'll continue on. I love how I just have all of my pillows and my squish piled up on the couch. Hello, besties. It's like an hour later, and I want to take this moment to be honest with you and say I've gotten to the 20% mark of the book, but I found that in the past week or so, I've experienced anxiety right before bed or around this time at night, I think my thoughts just naturally slow down. And in that empty space, I'm still learning how to fill that space with thoughts that I want to think, which, as someone who struggles with intrusive thoughts, is not always an easy thing to do. And I never want to make it seem like it's an easy thing to do or that I'm applying this to everyone, because I'm not. For me, I'm making a conscious decision to choose more positive thoughts that I want to think in accompaniment. That's not the word. With the more anxious filled thoughts. So yeah, because my anxiety is acting up right now, I'm gonna put a pause on continuing with the story. I'm at part 3, which is just over 20%. I'm like page 65. In the morning, we shall resume. For now, though, I am going to soothe my anxiety and really just get ready for bed. So I shall see you all in the morning.
One eternity later.
Me and Gabby Cat are just gonna sit here on the couch and chill. I could pretend that it is the next day. It's not the next day. It's several days later. It's Sunday, but it's still going to be less than 24 hours, okay? I stopped the timer. This week was a lot of ups and downs, some very, very low lows. Just know I couldn't vlog during the week, but we're back and I'm reading The Wife Upstairs still. I'm hoping to finish it pretty soon. And I have to say, my girl, she's a gold digger. She is. And I say that with lots of like no judgment. I'm just like, get your coins, sis, because this man is hella sus. So she's still working as a dog walker in this chapter. And he's like, don't worry, babe, you can use my card. I'll buy you everything. And she's like, thanks, that'd be really great. And I'm like, sis, you are an actress. You have to at least pretend to resist. Oh, Eddie, I don't want you to feel like I'm taking advantage of you. You don't have to do that. At least pretend. Anyway, we've gotten some very interesting POVs here, and I'm just like sitting here like, I see where this is going. How close to Jane Eyre are we actually going to get? So let me continue on with that, and I'll give you an update when I'm further into the book and something wild happens, or when I finish it. I'm listening to These Fleeting Shadows right now. I didn't realize this book was YA.
I was shocked, honey.
It's confusing because the narrator, it's very good. Like, the narration is very good, but the narrator does have a voice that I would associate with someone at least in their 20s, not with a teenager. That's not what I was expecting. I don't know how that's going to play out, and it definitely changes the dynamics for me because I was expecting a woman going to live at this house alone, not a teenager going to live at this house with her creepy family. That's very different expectations. So we'll see how I feel about it. My plan is to listen to this as I play The Sims. So we shall see, which if you watch my other vlogs, yes, my gaming computer did get here. The way I just got like full body chills right now, because in the audiobook, my girl has encountered a ghost. It's a story about a haunted house, so that's not a spoiler. They've distorted the girl's voice, like the ghost. She sounds so fucking creepy. I literally just went, ooh. Yuck. But it very, very, very good. Okay, I'm about to hit 60% of The Wife Upstairs, and my feelings are the same, but I have some reservations about pacing because it's very easy to put this book down and not pick it back up. We spent the entire first like 50% of the book just establishing the relationship between Eddie and Jane, and we know there's some kind of secret in both of their pasts, and my feelings as well are that the book spoils itself too much. Of course, it's a Jane Eyre retelling, so you know, okay? You know. And the back of the book, though, just like gives everything away. So to me, I'm like, there are no twists. And at this point, I'm also a little bit like confused about Jane's personality change, or maybe I just misread her, because initially I thought Jane was like, she was the wolf in sheep's clothing. That girl knew what she wanted a better life, she saw the opportunity, and nothing was going to stop her from getting that. But that's not entirely who she is, and I think she genuinely has feelings for Eddie, and we've gotten to the point where she's scared of Eddie. Again, none of this is a spoiler. It's literally the plot of the book. And I totally get her fear, but she's like completely petrified of Eddie. And it's changed the power dynamics. And now it feels like he has the upper hand. And I just don't know what is going on. So those are my feelings. I'm having a hard time getting through the book. But Riley is about to start Patreon reading sprints. So I'm gonna push through it so we can finish. In addition, I also started reading Haunted, Perron Manor. It's like a haunted series, and then there are individual ones in here, and I'll tell you more about that when I finish The Wife Upstairs for the sake of trying to keep some kind of cohesion in this vlog. No, she fucking didn't. No, she didn't. I had to stop because my jaw literally dropped. I was like, bitch, no, you fucking did not. I'm going to continue. Thank goodness for these spreads because they're getting me through me just not wanting to read in January is what's happening. I'm like Scooby and Shaggy solving a mystery because I swear I think I figured this out. I see 2 potential paths is going to go down, but this is not a spoiler-filled vlog, so I'll keep those thoughts to myself. But I want to record this moment so you and I both know I know what's happening. Or I think I do. If I can be surprised, why is my phone constantly reflecting glitter at me? We'll see if I am right. But if I'm surprised, that's going to be one hell of a twist. So we shall see. My bangs are just going wild. I have finished The Wife Upstairs. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I don't think I predicted it, and I think it actually stuck very, very close to the original plot line of Jane Eyre. So I think I was thinking a little bit too hard. It is very much a Jane Eyre retelling. If you know that book and you know how it ends and you know why, that's what you're gonna find in this book. I found the ending particularly unsatisfying. I don't have a lot of thoughts aside from what I already told you. And I'm gonna move on now to listen to These Fleeting Shadows. So I'll see you with the updates for that one. I'm gonna give you this super fun update while I lay in bed because it is 10:30 at night and I am an old woman. So I'm reading These Fleeting Shadows. You can see me with my headphones on listening to this book. Like I said earlier, I didn't realize it was YA, so I set my expectations accordingly, and I am still really enjoying this. The one thing that I find somewhat unbelievable is that this is a teenager in situation where her mother believes that she's in danger. I don't foresee any situation where her mom would be like, it's your choice, if she genuinely thought that her daughter was like in danger of losing her life. I think she would say, I don't give a fuck, you're a minor and you're coming with me. But that could just be a me thing. So I read for about 4 hours, which means on the 24-hour clock, we have hit the 9-hour mark. So there's still plenty of time left, but I am going to try to read as many books as I can before that 24-hour mark comes up. You can see that I'm literally closing my eyes every few seconds because I'm getting ready to go to bed. So I shall see you in the morning. I'm out on my afternoon walk and I just hit the 50% mark in These Fleeting Shadows, which is about chapter 17. It is so good, and it's gay, and I'm loving it. The romance is super sweet, and the voice effects, the editing, like the audiobook is just very, very well produced. I'm having such a good time with it, and I'm glad that I set my expectations accordingly, even though it is YA. What's our main character's name? Helen. Helen is 17 or 18 years old, so definitely in the older YA category. So I'm super excited to see what's going on. I know there's a lot of family drama that's about to come up, but it's tied in with the supernatural, which is exactly what I'm looking for. However, as I mentioned earlier, this video is already hella fucking long. So my next update for this book will be when I'm done. Although at this point, I will tell you, I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to finish all 4 of these books before tonight. Probably, but I would have to read all day, and I'm also editing, so we shall see. But for now, let me continue listening and then walk back. It is a few minutes shy of 11 p.m. and y'all, yes, I have been crying because I just finished These Fleeting Shadows, and let me tell you, it was a gothic masterpiece. Like, just the most beautiful, heartbreaking fairy tale. And at the end, I was like, that's what's happening? Just full of so many gorgeous moments, and I love this story so much. I think it's even better than what I could have possibly expected. I'm giving it 5 stars. It blew everything I thought it would be out of the water. It is so gorgeous. Genuinely made me cry, and there were like some serious conversations and topics about harm that come to girls and women. At some point a character says, and no one would want to harm a little girl, and Helen, our main character, responds, people harm little girls all the time. And at the core, this story is just perfection. Listen to the fucking audiobook. It gets me in my eyeballs, okay? Listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is so fantastic. I can keep gushing about this book, but you remember at the beginning of this video, because I've been editing all day, where I set a TBR and actually only read half of the books in my TBR? Isn't that hilarious? So technically on the clock, I've only listened to, I had 3 hours and 47 minutes left of the audiobook, and I just finished, and that's the only thing I've been reading. So we have hit the... Yesterday was 9 plus 3. Like, we're around the 13-hour mark. So I still have plenty of time to actually, within the 24-hour range, to read another book. But I have to get this video exported and edited. It's almost fully edited except for these last 2 clips, and I need to do that. So we are limited not by time within our 24-hour clock, but by... This video needs to go up tomorrow at 3:30 because I always post on Tuesday at 3:30. So yes, These Fleeting Shadows, the crowning glory of this entire video. Now I'm gonna move on to Perron Manor. Just like with the other books, I don't freaking remember what this book is about. I know it was something that Goodreads recommended to me, and I know that it's about 2 sisters who inherit a house, and the house is really fucking haunted. So we shall get into that, and it's about 360 pages. My reading speed is about 100 pages per hour, so fingers crossed that I'm able to finish this before 2 a.m. All right, I am at the 15% mark of Perron Manor, which is part of the Haunted series. This book follows 2 sisters who inherit a house from an uncle neither of them have spoken to or really know about, and he left them this massive mansion, but this massive mansion has a very dark history. When the sisters move back in, so it's 2 sisters, and then one of them is married and has a baby, they move into this house, and of course it's super fucking haunted. Weird shit is going on, and they're eventually gonna encounter the evil behind the house. That is the summary. Now, I will tell you, I am enjoying it. The writing is simple, but definitely not bad. It's very easy to get into, but I will say, I'm freaking exhausted. I spent like 10 hours editing the video that you're watching right now, and I'm so tired. I'm gonna keep reading for as much as I can. Besties, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm probably gonna fall asleep. I will fall asleep, and if I do, I will see you in the morning, and you can say, I warned you that was going to happen. So far, like I said, I don't have a lot of opinions about this book because nothing's happened aside from them moving into the house, and I still have a while to go, so let's get to it. Good morning. I just woke up, so it's like 9 a.m. and I've come to the realization that I absolutely cannot finish this book before this vlog has to go up in a few hours. It needs time to process and get to HD, so we're gonna scrap this book, and instead I will let you know my final thoughts on it in February. But reading 3 books in under 20 hours I think is pretty good, and thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this chaotic vlog. I will see you in my next video, and make sure to subscribe if you would like to. Bye.